Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to Stones of Faerûn, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition epic played on Discord and on Roll20. We have most of our party here with us today. We are streaming out to you on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. And of course you can jump into any of the chats and say hello as we are carrying on. It's been a few weeks, and it has been, as we were talking about just before the session, quite the week that we're all very much appreciating the idea of maybe a little bit of downtime, just a little bit anyway. So without too much further ado, we'll bring us into the Stones of Faerûn. All right, and we are carrying on with where we left off last session. So where we left last session, the party had spent some time in a mine on a mountain, or a little bit up a mountain from a community called Mountain Home. The mine was, they'd actually, 2 sessions ago, they'd actually just finished killing a red wormling dragon there. And then they had to make their way out by way of a variety of traps, and were able to do so. And then they had to try to figure out what they were going to do with the massive quantities of things they pulled out of the dragon's hoard, including a book they found, a small gem. On their way out, they had some difficulties. The traps kind of got at them a little bit, but they did finally make their way completely out of the mine, made their way back down to the town of Mountain Home. Very small village, not very well populated at the moment. One of the people who are populating it is Quartz Speaker. He's kind of a fairly lithe-looking Goliath that has been sort of the spokesperson of the town. Although they have also stayed at the house of Dariel and Ilva, who Dariel is the local priest, worships Danir, and that's pretty much where they left off, coming back down the mountain from the mine, to discuss what their next steps were. Well, off stream, and actually didn't get a chance to do a stream last time either, but off session, I guess, we saw a little bit of role play happen after the fact, and Quartz Speaker was able to get a little bit more information about what brought the characters here. And for that matter, in the previous session, the characters started learning a lot more about each other. There was a little bit of conflict, just a little bit, between almost specific halves of the party. Marisol made some connections with Roman. Indani made some connections with Serge. Autumn made some connections with the back of a wagon full of magical supplies, and Veltris made some connections with the noble hand, and is now had taken her oath. Quartz Speaker, for his part, was able to read between the lines of some of the things that they were saying back to him, and pulled enough information from the party to say that the Zhentarim were involved in the party's arrival at Mountain Home. And through this tense conversation, Quartz Speaker is now looking to try to make sure the Zents, as they call them, Zhentarim, leaves the town of Mountain Home alone. And Dariel was, it looks to me, if I remember correctly, they were looking at trying to do something back up at the mine. Is that about right, guys? If I remember correctly, actually. Yeah, you guys were going to go back up and get the dragon. Aha. Okay. Right. All right. We are missing headphone sounds on my stream, and so I'm going to solve that here, like right now. I'm going to bet that it's in there, and that's why. There we go. That's better. So yeah, we can hear you guys now. So yes, you guys were gonna go. Roman and Autumn were gonna go up to the to this lab. Um, so the last thing that came out was that Dariel suggested that you guys go up and reclaim the red wormling dragon's corpse, and say keep a scale for yourself because the scales have value. However, send all of the dragon to the Zhentarim as if it's payment, and see if that would do the trick.
Yeah, it was something like that. I don't remember the exact details because it's been a while and it's been a long few weeks.
It certainly has. All right, so with that knowledge as to what the plan was, um, Roman and Autumn for sure want to go back up to the mine and check out that laboratory. Is there anybody else who wants to go back up there?
Marisol will be going because she feels very much like a chastised, guilty child. So she needs to go appease Dariel.
Gotcha. Okay. Anybody else going to go up there?
Majority are going up. And Donnie will go as well, just to keep an eye on things. Because last time, especially for her, things were a little difficult when they were in there. So
Yeah,
Yes,
same.
It seems as though Indani has issues with traps, or specifically pitfalls.
quickly pitfall.
Guess you could say it's a pitfall of her experience.
Oh wow, that was maybe a little too well
It's not
played.
her fault
Appreciate
she
that.
falls for those.
I thought you said you were too nervous for joking.
Damn it.
Jokes are not puns. Puns are too terrible to be jokes.
They're dad jokes. Just,
They're-
okay, we're all going back up there. Let's go.
Okay, yeah, Velters will be coming along too. Being as Roman and Autumn were the first ones to indicate that they wanted to go, I think what we're going to do is just keep this nice and simple and just go for a roll to see how... Actually, let's get everybody to do a quick little roll to see if there's any calamity to them that you come across. And the roll we're going to go for is probably... let's go with dexterity or strength. You get to choose each.
Okay. Now, checks, just strength or dex check?
Yeah, let's make it athletics or acrobatics. That'll work too.
Okay, that's a little better. At least for me, because I have
It's
real
not
bad
for me.
stats in both.
All right, I'm just...
Yeah,
I
no.
cannot believe I
I
rolled that.
Odom and I are definitely having not a fun time right now.
Everyone's going so fast.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm having a tough
so
time pulling
happy.
these suckers up onto the stream. So let's see here. We've got 8 for Marisol, 17 for Indani. Roman's a nat 1 to a 4. Autumn's a 3. That's... Oh my goodness. Wow, this is... Okay. Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
good thing we're going in the back entrance, isn't it?
Well, it's morning-ish, so what we're just gonna say is by way of the time that it takes. You guys have struggled to get back up the mountain. Maybe we'll say it rained or something like that a little bit earlier in the night, and so everything's a little bit more slick. You have a tougher time. So rather than taking the simple hour that it took last time, it's going to take you 2 to get up there. So you soak up a little bit of the daylight, but you guys will get back up there. It's just going to take you a bit more time. Getting into the mine, there's only a couple of places that you guys didn't really take a look at, and not very many for that matter either. Is there any exploration that you wanted to do while you were in the mine, or did you want to just basically go the way that you already traveled?
After what happened to Indani, no exploration.
Okay,
Well, Odom and I are
Fair.
are going back to the lab at least.
right.
At least
but
the 2 of us. If somebody else wants to come with us, that's up to them. But
okay.
Um,
So Roman and Autumn, I'm going to get you guys both to roll a quick perception check, and I'm going to try and
Okay.
get this.
So before I roll a perception check here,
Yes.
I would like to cast a spell before we get into the
There we go.
underground area.
For sure. And what is that
I-
spell?
Let's see. Second.
There we go.
I'm pulling up my quick document here. All right.
For sure.
So, I'm gonna open up my spell book. and place my hand on my forehead. I'm gonna start doing some chanting stuffs, and then I'm gonna finish it off very quickly with Ezath Alku Azit Fubez. The book shakes very violently for a second, but now I have to cast Detect Magic.
Ah, okay. Detecting magic
Veto.
in here. Let's
And
see
then I pick
here.
up the book, and it's basically like a little radar.
That's kind of neat.
Indeed.
Yeah,
So, I just need to
I can quick
get
put it
to my
check.
information. I'm not sure that they're... Let's see what we got.
I know we found a lot. We found most things, but we're
We found most
did.
of them.
Yeah, we're looking
But
for that
we're-
amethyst that I think we still don't have, even though
That-
we did
Yeah.
find one.
Yeah, you found something along those lines. Most of the things that were of value that were in this space you guys already found. There is nothing providing you with a magical aura in this space. Except
So-
to say like a remnant of the alchemist fire, the evocation magic that would have come with that. Like you can see a little fading of where the alchemist fire flasks used to be, but there's nothing left. The flasks, you guys took them all. They're all gone from this room.
That's fine. It lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So do you
sweep
still
it.
want us to roll the perception checks, or?
Yeah, let's do that real quick here.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of did that a little bit faster than I should have, but that's all right.
Very sorry.
It's not your fault. It's me trying to keep track of the things.
No, I'm apologizing to Roman.
Better
there you
than
go.
a nat 1. I mean,
Wow, let's
dice
get
are
these.
not our friends right now.
Yeah, let's get these rolls out of the way, shall we? So,
Yeah.
leading the way into the mine, Autumn kind of looks to his right, giggles about the ride that he took in the mine cart. The Roman kind of pulls him back into the direction of that you guys had already traveled a couple of times, actually. You find the space that you're going to without too much hassle. But you don't really notice anything new or unusual that you hadn't noticed before. Now, everybody else is with you guys. Is there any particular location that the rest of you are planning on going to?
I think the rest of the party was just heading down to the room with the dragon wormling, as far as I remember.
Right. The challenge then is which path would you take? The trap-infested one that almost swallowed Veltris, or the other one that had the hole that the one kobold fell down and lit on fire through? The one with the hole at the bottom of the stairs.
That almost swallowed Veltris.
It also almost swallowed Veltris, yes.
I thought they
No.
were going in through the back entry.
Oh, is that where you guys are going through?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think that was what the agreed one was, so that way we didn't have to deal with all the traps.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
it might be safer if at least they go around that way, and probably Odom and I go in through the front, because then neither of us have to deal with traps.
Yeah.
Unless somebody else is coming with us, in which case they'll be joining us. But
Okay. Marisol and Danny, Surge, you guys were good with the back entrance then?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
I would have cleared the entrance for Daryl and Quixley for myself.
And wouldn't have been any problems doing so either. So we'll simply go for a quick strength check to see, because if I understand it correctly, you're just grabbing the red worm and corpse, right?
I'm doing whatever the hell Daryl wants to do, so if that's what Daryl says we're doing, that's what I'm doing.
Then that's what you're doing. So I'm going to get 2 people to roll a athletics check for me, or 1 with advantage. You guys get to decide who.
I'm there. I have a 0 to athletics, so I will give someone advantage.
There you go.
I'll take the lead on it.
What's
since
your
I'm feeling
athletics
very
score?
subservient right now. It's at least a +2, but plus advantage, it'll be better.
Okay, go for it.
All right. Athletics coming up. Advantage. Oh, dirty 20. Like it. So with the help of Indani and with Surge kind of trying to, we'll say that Surge is keeping watch, protective eye
I'm
out. Is
not
that right?
helping, Wendy. Just keep going.
So you guys are able to pull the red dragon wormling out, kind of sling it over both of your guys' shoulders, and start making your way back down the slightly slick mountain. We'll say it takes you a little while to get back down the mountain again with the dragon. Roman and Autumn, anything else that you guys wanted to check out while you were in the mine?
The lab specifically.
Okay.
Unless Odom has somewhere else he wants to check that we haven't explored.
I mean, I would like to go wandering in some of the places we haven't really looked too deeply into.
Okay.
But the bigger thing is, all the meanwhile, Odom is practicing bird calls with his new minor illusion.
All right. So every once in a while, you'll hear the squawk of a peacock coming around the corner. Those things are loud, by the way. The occasional honk. At one point in time, Roman hears a sparrow chirp right in his ear. But aside from that, and with that perception check, you don't really see any other locations that you weren't already aware of.
Okay.
I thought there was one path we specifically didn't take that was off to the right.
No, the right path was the lab, was it not? Because I'm trying to remember what this map looks like.
I believe there was one other path to the right of the lab path.
That's right. It wasn't so much that it went to the right of the lab as it was the main sleeping area where the kobolds were. You have to walk through the sleeping area to get to the lab. But there was another hallway off of the side of the sleeping area, and as you go around the corner to check it out, you see a great big boulder in the way, and fairly quickly surmise that on the other side of this boulder is probably the minecart that Autumn crashed into. You also do see another entryway to the sleeping quarters that has that kind of came from south, but it's obviously much deeper into the mountain than where the entrance was. As you get to go down that and just check it out real quick, you see a whole bunch of spikes set up at the bottom of it. You look up, and this must have been at one point in time an elevator shaft that had a pulley system that they could use, that probably the miners would have used to lift things up. There was a rope there. You suspect that had you actually gone up there, you would have probably come up to the same level as the entrance. And so you go back all the way around, and you discover, sure enough, there was another little hallway out of the entrance that would have taken you to that elevator shaft. But aside from that, there's nothing else new in the space.
Okay, so then do you want to just check the lab?
I believe we've already done that.
I know we briefly looked through it, but then the whole situation with the dragon wormling happened, and I don't remember how thoroughly we actually went and searched through it.
I gave it the most thorough look, and that wasn't a very hard look. It was basically seeing if there was anything we could use.
Okay, then we should. We found the book in the treasure trove of the dragon wormling, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask Odom if he thinks that this amethyst that he previously found is the one we're looking for.
No.
Then would we like to make a second search?
I don't dislike the idea. I'm pessimistic about it being here.
Well, okay.
Do you want to do an investigation?
Was magical, correct?
Well, sort of. It's complicated.
It's a spell book.
No. Again, technically, I have an idea what it could be, but I need to do a little more research before I can fully discover that.
Okay, so then...
It's definitely magically powerful.
Okay, so then even though you're pessimistic about the chance of us finding what we're looking for...
I mean,
the
analogy of needle and haystack is appropriate here.
That's fair. I can try to assist you as best I can if it's a better idea that we try and search for that needle.
I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot. Again, low hopes.
Well, question for Windy then.
Sure.
Am I allowed to give both guidance and advantage on his check?
You can. Yes, you can actually.
Then I would
In
like
this
to do that.
So what you would basically be doing is like powering him with guidance every like 6 seconds or something like that. So if you kind of keep your hand on him, you could just kind of like jolt him all the time with it.
It's a 1 minute. It's a 1 minute concentration.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're good with that. So you could give him guidance on that and go ahead and make the roll happen.
All right. So it's normal roll plus it's an advantage roll.
Yeah, your advantage roll plus a d4.
I have a blessed macro on, so 19.
19. So with the 19, you get the sense that the kobold sorcerer that was here was not exactly the most significantly arcane individual. That chances are it was experimenting with some things that it really didn't understand, and managed to come up with by accident alchemist fire. That all of the other things that are in here, the contraptions that they were trying to produce, there was absolutely no magical essence about them. They must have just had some sort of a recipe that they were just running with. So there's not much else in the lab. If you take that search, are you taking that search into the place where the red dragon wormling was as well?
No, because I already detected magic in there, and we
Right.
didn't find that. So I would suggest like backtracking to the like sleeping quarters on the chance that like one of the kobolds stole the shiny gem
We can do that.
and was like pocketing it for themselves.
Sure. So in that space, you're going to find a whole bunch of dead kobolds because you killed them all. But while in there, and you go through their bedding, you find the corpses and you kind of pat them down and kind of go for a quick search through them too. They didn't have much. They really don't. It was quite obvious that pretty close to everything they had, it was expected of them to be passed off to the wormling.
It doesn't look like any of them were too greedy.
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna find that gem here. Though,
Then where do you suspect we would find it?
I don't know, but I'm curious. The taller man.
Court speaker?
No, Daryl. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
What about him?
I assume he's actually shorter.
Then court speaker by a lot.
Yeah. He mentioned something about looking for this gem himself.
Okay. That would make me assume that he doesn't have it.
That means he also knows of its existence, which means it probably did exist here at some point in the past, but it does not currently reside here. There's a chance that someone absconded with it, or it's just lost. Completely.
I kind of think I see where this is leading, and I'm not sure I like it. But I'm going to ask you anyways, because you're far smarter at this kind of thing than I am. Do you believe that Dariel is the one who stole it?
Doubtful. He asked specifically if we found it, which suggests to me that he was looking for it as well.
Are you saying that you believe the Gauntlet also asked him to try and find it?
No, I think he is a follower of my god as well. We're lore seekers, ideally.
Okay.
I assume he is purely doing it for research purposes. but I do not know what the gauntlet exactly is expecting of it. I have a feeling we are stuck between two groups vying for something.
Well, one of them is paying us, so
I'm very aware. If we found it, he would not see it.
yeah.
But it does get me very interested in what this is.
Yeah, especially since the book seems to be strange as well.
If I had to guess, there's a chance this book may give power when read. Or at least it did in the past.
Okay.
That's a speculative guess, though.
Okay. Do you think that this particular amethyst would have had anything to do with the book? Like it acts as a spell component or something?
I feel they are just two artifacts that the gauntlet is trying to secure.
Okay, so they
It
would be
reminds me
unrelated.
vaguely of the you said you found a gemstone previously.
That not found, but had to recover. Yes.
If I had to guess, it would be similar to that one.
You assume that this particular amethyst has some kind of.
I don't know if it'll be an exact
or-
copy. I just assume it will function similarly. It has some sort of power. That's what the gauntlet wants of it.
I kind of hope it's not like that, because that was a painful experience.
It sounded like it.
I got electrocuted multiple times, so.
Well, you know what they say. And then I make a honk noise. Just to kind of spook him.
There is an. Not only does he physically facepalm, it is audible.
Honk. I'm gonna have to.
No, not again.
You know what? I'm gonna have to actually queue up a goose honk for you guys, I think.
I'll find one. I'll find one. That'll be my mission this next break.
Okay, fine, guys. We have our group name now. It's official. I am not budging on this.
Just honk.
No, Torment of the Goose.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. All
I mean,
right,
it kind
so
of works.
it does kind of work. I like it actually.
Now,
So-
tormenting who exactly? That's up to you to decide.
Mostly it's up to
Our
Autumn, I
enemies.
think, to decide.
Our enemies.
Fair.
Everyone.
All right, are you guys coming out of the mine then as you're saying all this stuff?
Uh,
I assume so. I don't think there's
Yeah.
much else we can gather here.
yeah,
Actually, no.
unless-
We'll loop back to the dragon to see if they still need help.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, you will come as you come out of the mine to go and loop around to the other side because you don't want to have to deal with traps and you don't want to deal with holes. You end up seeing about a third of the way down the mountain already are and Danny, Marisol, with Serge and Veltris kind of at foot as well, already carrying this red dragon's corpse down the mountain. So they appear to have things well in hand.
All right.
So you could just kind of follow in.
I guess so.
Okay.
Since
But
apparently
before
we can't find this thing. Unless Odom has
before we
something else
meet
he
up
wants to
with-
do.
I want to talk with you specifically on the walk down while we have the a little more private time. That's not focused on searching for a gem.
Okay, so
Okay.
in the interest of fairness, I'm gonna ask if there is also going to be a similar thing that happens between, say, Indani and Marisol and Serge at all. Veltris obviously is not here to be able to do a lot of the conversing, but Indani and Marisol and Serge, is there anything in particular that you guys wanted to converse about on your way down?
I mean, you can let them finish, but I didn't have anything in particular I wanted to say.
No, nothing specific.
Okay,
Marisol's too tongue-tied at the moment, so nothing from her.
fair enough. All right, so we'll just let you guys carry on then, Autumn and Roman.
I have a tough ask.
What kind?
The monetary kind.
Okay.
We have all these magical artifacts just sitting in that cart. I don't know what half of them do. I don't know what a quarter of them do. Oh wait, no, other way around. I cannot discover these things without the proper resources, which would
Okay.
help us divvy these out more appropriately and make us more cohesive as a group.
I think I see where this is starting to go.
I think I have a spell that could accomplish such things. The problem is, it's going to cost 100 gold.
For the components.
It's a one-time thing. It shouldn't.
I figured as much. I think I understand. Would Roman understand what spell he's talking about? I don't, because the clerics don't get identify.
No, you'd have to go ahead and roll an Arcana check if you want.
Oh boy. Here goes. This -1. We're gonna try it anyways.
That's why I'm making you roll it. Nope, you haven't got a clue what he's talking about.
All right.
Relatively
Okay.
simple spell, but it requires much upfront.
Okay.
Spell casting, as I'm certain you are aware, is not the most inexpensive of hobbies.
Yeah. Indeed. You said it costs 100 gold for the components for this particular spell.
For just this spell.
Yes. How much are you able to put up front yourself?
Well, with the finances as they currently stand, I have about 20 gold to my name.
Okay. I can help you a little bit. I don't have much more than that.
What I would more ask for is not actual monetary, but the haul we pulled in. After counting it up, if I were to remove 100 gold from it to purchase said, it's a pearl specifically is what I. Actually, I guess I only need 80 gold specifically, but before we split it, to help the party in the future, I just need some backing voices, as it's very hard to get words in with everyone shouting amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Just a helpful reassurance of, yes, this is not a terrible idea, Odin, would be a welcome thing.
I can do that. I know that spells are definitely.
And would love to pay for it myself. We just don't make the money.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
And
We'll
if
get
any
there.
of these things could help us survive, I think that's a worthwhile investment.
Yeah, I agree that it would be good to find out more sooner rather than later.
So, do you want this staff?
Your goose staff?
Yeah, I don't need it anymore. I got what I needed from it.
There's kind of just like an eye. He kind of looks down to Odom with like one eyebrow raised. Because honestly, Roman probably has absolutely no idea what this staff actually does other than make goose honks. Because, you know, as a cleric, he doesn't get most of these spells. And this kind of a staff, this is not like a staff that like you can hit people with, is it? It's just like a casting staff, like a spell focus kind of thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It doesn't have the sturdiness that you would expect of a quarterstaff.
Okay. I mean, I guess I can hold on to it, but like I don't think I will have really a whole lot of use for it. I'll be spending most of the time.
See if anyone else needs it then. I just don't need it. I'm trying to. It's taking up space in my pack. It's a little bit of a hassle at this point.
Yeah. I understand. I can hold on to it for now and see if somebody else would like it.
God, they're getting far ahead.
We'll catch up. But yeah, I'll see if somebody else wants to take the staff. I also don't really have a use for it since my primary thing to do in combat is keeping you guys from hitting the floor.
Spend about as much time in the back rows as I do, so I assumed.
Yeah.
Alright, we should probably catch up.
Yeah, it might be a good idea.
Alright, so you guys go to catch up to the group that is ahead of you. Couple of tumbles and a little bit of spills along the way. The Indani and Marisol are traveling somewhat more carefully to make sure that they can actually descend the mountain at a manageable pace and not at the pace of gravity. And so you do make your way back down. Basically takes you up the entire morning to do so. As you do so, it becomes. We're now getting to midday. It's a little bit of a cloudier day, by the way. So there's not much sunlight. I mean, certainly not direct sun. It's just kind of filtered through the clouds. Doesn't look like it's going to rain. It's just not as bright as it has been for the past few days. And so you guys make your way back down. Where are you going to put the wagon? Or, sorry, the worm. Are you going to put the wormling on the wagon is what I mean to say.
Will it fit?
Are we taking it?
We have to.
That was the intention, is that you guys were going to take the dragon and give it to the Zhentarim as payment on behalf of Mountain Home. That was the suggestion that Dariel had given you.
We are not seeing the Zhentarim for a while, though.
We're about to go to Melvaunt. That's kind of our next destination. I know Melvaunt isn't like exactly Zhentarim, but
I guess this is a Marisol question, isn't it? Turn.
Yeah, I'd be tying this thing to the cart, and like, I will straight up take an axe to it if I need to in order to make it fit.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I don't know how. I don't remember how big the thing is, so.
The wagon was it was a fairly good sized wagon. You could put the dragon basically right on top of everything else that was in there, and you would have the tail dragging out the back. And that's you could probably fold up the wings underneath it. It would take a little bit of work, but you guys could probably get it under the canopy of the wagon with a tail hanging out. So you could always choose to cut the tail off and then find a different place to put it.
Is it possible to have the dragon like on top of the canopy, or is that just like asking for it to collapse?
That just sounds like a collapse.
Unfortunately, you get the sense the canopy is not quite strong enough to hold up an entire red dragon wormling. Okay. Might not be able to hold up Autumn.
Yeah, tail's coming off then.
All right, so we'll say that for the sake of discussion, who's actually going to be the one who takes the tail off?
Marisol was the one who offered it, but
probably me. Like, I'm half picturing me like doing this myself. Everyone just watching.
Go for it.
Yeah, tell me what it looks like.
Well, as soon as, and I'm assuming that as soon as we get down the mountain, Marisol just makes a beeline for the cart, hops inside, quickly rearranges everything, and then looks to Indani for like to see if she's giving a helping hand. And if not, then it's like a good half-hour struggle for Marisol getting the whole creature, ass included, inside.
Well,
and then as soon as the tails...
I have 0 strength, so I would help, but it would still take that long.
Well, Either way, as soon as it's all in and its ass is hanging out, it's just straight up like as soon as she can find a sharp object, she just actually kind of lets out a bit of like a very frustrated yell and just hacks straight through it, and then grabs one of the horses, binds up the bleeding end of the tail, and slings the tail across the horse.
Nice. All right.
Fun with that.
So you now have a red dragon, or at least most of it, on a wagon, the rest of it on a horse. And you have, if I remember correctly, Autumn put the horde onto the wagon already. So it's starting to get to be pretty heavy, this wagon. And you only had 2 horses pulling the wagon to begin with.
I mean, it's like 1,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the neighborhood. It could happen, but they'll have to work. And so Dariel is going to say to you guys, I trust that when you do see and your patrons with the Zhentarim, that this will be sufficient, and that we should not be beholden to them at all.
Not meeting his eyes, Marisol says, they won't live past if they're trying to come to you.
Oh, and I lost you all. How did I lose you? Sound checkity check. I lost you. Where are you? Interesting. All right. Well, bear with me here for a second, guys, because I can't hear you. I think I know the reason why, too. Technology, isn't it a wonderful thing, guys? Isn't it wonderful? All right, hang on. Alrighty. Let's do this. Alrighty. Just bear with me here for a moment, guys. We're going to get this all fixed. And that one there. All right. Can you guys hear me still? Well, you guys should be able to hear me, but I can't hear you, so something's still not quite right. Let's do this instead. Oh, my word. Okay, I'm going to disconnect and I'll try again here, so just bear with me here for a second, guys. Those of you on the stream, we'll be back as we deal with these tech issues. Just a short break. That's how it works. All right, so we're back into this. And where I think it was we were leaving off, Dariel was asking about making sure that the Zhentarim weren't going to behold them. And I believe somebody was saying, basically, you'd kill them if they tried. Is that about right?
Yeah, over Marisol, the body, basically.
Beauty. Alrighty. And so now, what's your next step, guys?
I'd like to pull Marisol aside.
You sure you want to do this?
No, not even remotely, but like, I'm going for it.
Do you want Roman there?
I assume I poke your shin? I'm real short. I don't know how tall you are.
Somewhere.
She's 6'2".
6'1". She jumps a bit and then looks down. Doesn't say anything though.
Can I have a word? And like, Autumn is real defensive looking already. Like he's ready to get smacked.
She looks very, very preoccupied, but she follows if you lead somewhere.
Yeah, I just private sort of conversation sort of thing.
Sure. You guys can find a space.
There's a lot of magic stuff on the cart, as I'm certain you're aware. I need some money.
A hand goes to her hip, and she looks a bit confused. So do all of us? What does this have to do with the magic items?
I need, okay. Alright. So, I think I have a way to know what all the magic things... he's not having... There's no eye contact at all at this point in time. He's, like, looking at the dirt. I have a spell that I think could solve what everything on that cart is. I think it would be beneficial for the group if that was something I could do. I need some money to buy some reagents for it, though.
Tell me what you need, and I can maybe get it myself.
A pearl.
That's easily found in a jewelry store.
But it costs money. That's the big thing I need, though.
Well, what are you putting it on, a diamond or something? Like it's a pearl. It's not one of the most expensive
I need a large one.
jewelry items out there.
It would cost maybe 100 gold.
100 for a pearl. Oh boy.
Magic is not a inexpensive thing.
Doesn't
The
want
only
my
reason
blood too?
I mean, not really. It would make discovering what all these things we are carrying around. I could figure out what they are in an afternoon. And any future magical artifacts we find.
I mean,
I'm not asking you to pay out of... Well, I kinda am. Not asking you to pay me out of pocket. I would like to try to argue for some of the party funds to go towards this. We found that huge hoard of loot. I'd gladly give up my share for the group for this.
her hand's a bit suspicious. Her coin purse at this point. I mean, if you can get everyone on board with it, then at least 30 gold can go towards you, but I can't afford to part with my own. My family needs it too much.
I'm not asking you to part with your own. I'm purely just asking from the hoard we just acquired.
When we divvy that up, then at least 5 from mine can go to yours. We good here?
Sure. And Autumn kind of wanders off, muttering.
All right.
Then I'm gonna go find Surge, if that's all right.
Yep, I go for it.
Surge?
What do you need?
May I have a word?
Sure.
wander off somewhere relatively quiet. All right. So, I'm certain you've seen you've seen all the loot in the back of the our treasure trove, effectively, yeah.
I've seen you organizing it, yes.
I mean, it's very important to have the organization in there. It makes categorizing very easy. Plus, then I can easily reach for things when I need them. It really helps out.
I'm sure it's very important. What did you need?
Sorry. I want to know what a lot of this stuff does so that we can start adequately using it as a group. But to do this, it's going to require a little bit of a upfront investment from the party.
What kind of an investment?
Oh, nothing to 100 gold.
100 gold?
I know. If I could do it for cheaper, I would, but I can't.
Are you sure you can't do it for something cheaper?
I've gone through the formula for this spell 308 times? No, 309. Anytime the spell components are less pure, it will just fail outright, or it will potentially break the magic item. Which, that's a pretty bad outcome.
Arches an eyebrow. What exactly do you need?
Pearl. Specifically of a breed that's only existent in certain areas of the world at certain times of the year. It ends up costing about 100 gold. But it's the safest and most resilient of reagents I can use for this.
Looks at Odom, looks at the staff in his hand, looks back at Odom. And what exactly would be getting out of this?
I'm gonna roll to see if he notices you looking at the staff, because he's not good at that sort of stuff.
That's fair.
Let's get that up on the screen here for you.
I mean, it wasn't inobvious, so I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. I'll give you the staff.
I don't want this. Give it to me, I'll probably just break it.
Alright, fine. I guess you don't want the staff. But it would help me figure out what the rest of the stuff does. Which could be more useful stuff for everyone in the party, including you.
Look, I don't have 100 gold. I haven't had 100 gold in over a year.
I'm not asking for your personal money. That's not at all what I'm asking. The hoard we acquired.
Oh, sorry, it's just me.